what sometimes is necessary is maybe not so much going back as a typical counseling mentality and digging up the old and pulling out all of the experiences and how they made you feel. Many times when I'm working with clients, it doesn't necessarily matter how you got to where you are. The fact of the matter is that that's where you are. This is where we are right now. And we get to make the decision in every day what it is that we're going to do with the place that we're at right now. And so I find that it's oftentimes useful to go back and look at those experiences to determine what you learned from those experiences. What you learned is what's directing your outcomes in your present experience. Sometimes what you learn is a negative limiting belief. Sometimes it is something that you retain and hold on to long after the lesson was learned. And sometimes the lessons that we learn are very inappropriate. They do limit our abilities. And we call those false beliefs, false concepts, false ideals. The thing is your subconscious mind stores those as a directive in how to live out the rest of your life. For example, very easy situations. If a woman, grew up as a child and was called a large girl all the time, she's obviously going to have some concepts about playing out that large girl concept. I'm going to show what I typically will do on just a piece of paper here real quick. I'll have clients of mine write out what I call a conceptual timeline of events. And it's a pretty simple exercise. We don't go into the trauma and tragedy of all of the horrible experiences that one has experienced. But what we'll do is we'll just turn the paper horizontal and I'll ask them to start writing a timeline of events of everything that they can possibly think of, from the farthest, the longest away being on the left side, all the way up to the right side being present day. And so, maybe someone says, oh, you know what, I remember in, in 2000, my 10th birthday. We better change the dates here. That's going to be a pretty young person. Let's say in 1987. And then maybe, I'm going to draw a line here, representing your events. So the date on one side, the event that happened. Let's see, in 2000, I got married. Oh my gosh, I remember when I was 5 years old. 5 years old. And I remember I got in trouble for stealing a book. And I got spanked. And what I have people do is I don't have them necessarily go into the situations that they know were problematic in their life, those that they're still trying to heal from and they know about them consciously. What we're trying to do is just let memories bubble up. They may make no sense to you whatsoever, but write them down. Oh my goodness, in 1981, I remember that my sister stole my birthday present. Oh, and then there was this, I don't know why, but there was just this beautiful day in 2010, and I was sitting in a park, and I just felt so at peace. So I'll have them go through just anything that, until their brain is drained of all of the memories that they can think of that are ready to pop up, and trust your inner guidance that it's going to pull up those little pictures, those little snapshots of the things that you're thinking about that are enough to spark something. Then what we do is on the right side of the page, we go through each event. And we write, what did you learn from that? What did it teach you? What did it tell you about yourself? I stole a book and I got spanked. It doesn't have to be the obvious answer to that, but you ask yourself, what did that tell me about myself? What did I feel about myself? What did I gather from the people around me? And in this particular situation, maybe it was, I was bad. Use whatever word, whatever feeling word, whatever emotion word. Sister stole my present. And you know, let's dive into that a little bit. Let's ask about that situation. And mom and dad didn't help. what that told me was I was less valuable. The 10th birthday, did something happen at the 10th birthday? And what were the feelings that popped out of that? What did that teach you? Oftentimes when we're trying to write down what that will teach you, it comes off as a feeling. So if you can identify the feeling, my 10th birthday, let's say it was a good thing that happened. Let's say 30 people showed up. It was the best birthday of your life. Let's say something negative happened. Somebody made fun of you. Write down the feeling, what that told you about yourself. The interesting thing is you'll be able to follow a thread throughout all the experiences, and you'll be able to look at the feelings that you carried through, and you'll be able to see the majority feeling that went to build a limiting construct. Oftentimes it'll be, one of value or worth. But once you identify each of these, you can look at them and say, that's not healed in my mind because I remembered it enough to want to talk about it, and it told me that I was bad, and I'm going to change this for myself. I'm going to change and make a new affirmation, a new mantra for myself. I make good decisions. I know right from wrong. I want to live as a good person. I was less valuable. Was that true? Is that true? Am I less valuable than anybody? Is it really true? I know sometimes we may feel that way, but is it really true? And if we know for the truth, if it's true, it has to be true across the board every day in every way. And I know that you've had situations where you did feel valuable. And so in this particular situation, this belief that you were left with lied to you. And so we're going to change that into one that works for you. Believing and living off of the idea I was less valuable or I am less valuable is only going to create situations in your life where you can prove to yourself how less valuable you are. And so we change that. We change into the affirmation of I am valuable. I am worthy. I am loved. What ends up happening is we end up having a whole positive affirmation list. And this is what I have people write every day. Repeat it to themselves, record it, say it again and again and again. If they find themselves in situations where they're feeling less valuable, that should trigger these new affirmations. And it takes some time because you've been practicing this one for a long time. Now we need to practice these. We need to get into that space of feeling it. And how we get into the space of feeling this value of I am valuable is we think about all of the times that we did feel valuable. And then we allow our vibration to rise with that. We allow ourselves to feel happy. We allow ourselves to identify how that feels to feel valuable. And we hold that in our space as long as we can. If you want more information on this on DrFoodie.live, there is a blog called How to Identify the Threads of Your Life Experiences. And it's an article that you can read again and again. It explains it a little bit more in depth. But I hope you have a good time learning about the threads that are running through your life and seeing them as how they became limiting beliefs and how you can correct them in yourself.